So, how do you assist people through the application process for the UK skilled worker visa? Like anyone who wants to set up a business or relocate with their families to the UK?
So, people that are wishing to set up their own business in the UK, we can assist them by, obviously, we can discuss with them the business idea that they wish to do. We can also assist with business plan writing. They might have an idea, but they just want to try and see what the market trends are. So the whole point of a business plan is trying to see what their business can do in the UK market. So we can assist with that whole side of things. Also, what we can do is assist with tax registration in the UK. We can assist with UK bank account opening. They need all of that in place in order to move on to the next stage, which is applying for the sponsor license. So once their business is all set up in the UK, they can then look to apply for the sponsor license. So the sponsor license is required for that organisation for them to then be employed as a skilled worker to come and work in the UK. So I'll just discuss about the sponsor license process a little bit with you. So the sponsor license is just basically requires the business to be set up, trading and operating. If it's a new business, some people already have businesses in the UK, and obviously they can then just skip straight to applying for the sponsor license. If the business is new, they would need to ensure that they supply the business bank account when they apply for the sponsor license. Also, if there is a type of business, for example, if they're a food business, they would need to be registered with the local authority, so they need to ensure that that's all done. We can of course assist them with that. If they are another business that requires them to be registered with a certain governing body, we can also look into that, help them with that. So they need to make sure all these registrations are done before they then submit their application to the Home Office, to say that we are a genuine and trading organisation and we wish to employ skilled workers from overseas. Another important thing before applying for a sponsor license is that the organisation needs to ensure that they have appointed certain key personnel. So the Home Office say that you need these key personnel to comply with their compliance requirements, your compliance requirements as a sponsor. So we can also, that person needs to be a British person. So we can also assist with that. Ideally, it's a director or a office holder of the organisation, and they will basically be the ones that are overseeing the skilled workers in the organisation. Then you also have the level 1 user, who's basically looking after the sponsorship management system. So when you've applied as a sponsor and you've been granted a sponsor license for the organisation, everything is managed on an online sponsor management system. So you need that level 1 user in the organisation who looks after the sponsorship management system, who reports anything that needs to be reported, i.e. you need to you've changed your address, a skilled worker hasn't turned up for work for a few days, you need to report that. So this day-to-day management is done by the level 1 user. So it's really important that those people, it can be done by one person, like I said, the British settled person in the organisation. So we submit details about that. We submit details about the organisation. We submit all the required documents. And then we can also apply for fast track. So the sponsor license can essentially be granted within 10 working days. So once that sponsor license is granted, we're then ready
But
to...
how long does it normally take?
It can take up to 8 weeks.
Just 8 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's fairly quick, unless there's any problems with the application, which obviously that's why we're here, to ensure that there isn't. And we thoroughly vet the application, we thoroughly vet all the documentation, we thoroughly vet to make sure that the key personnel are comply with what the Home Office require. We make sure that every single piece of information that the Home Office need is all there.
So, how does the innovator founder visa differ from the skilled worker visa in the UK?
So with the innovator founder, I think one of the main differences is that you need a endorsement from one of the accepted professional bodies, whereas with a skilled worker visa you don't. So let me just start by introducing the innovator founder visa. That it was called the startup and the innovator visa. So you would apply as a startup, somebody with a startup idea, and then switch to the innovator visa. So they kind of combined it into one. So now it's called the innovator founder visa.
Yeah.
If it's for people who have a new, genuine, innovative business idea, who are then proposing it to the professional bodies, and it needs to be endorsed and accepted by the professional body before they can then make an application to the Home Office. So I would say it's obviously a bit more restricting in terms of the audience that it would apply to. You really have to have a new and innovative business idea if you wish to apply for this. When the startup and innovative visas were, it was in force about a year or two ago before the new innovative founder, there was actually quite a long list of professional bodies. So they've reduced the list of professional bodies as well. So there's only a few now that you can actually get endorsement from. And the threshold is quite high. So it really needs to be something that's quite innovative in order for you to apply for that visa. One of the main advantages is that you can be eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain after 3 years rather than waiting for 5 years. So you'll get your settlement quicker if you meet certain requirements at that 3-year stage, which is obviously relating to generating a certain amount of profit, business, or employing a certain amount of people, which again you don't require with the skilled worker visa, even though there's no shorter route to settlement with skilled worker visa.
So why do people choose to relocate to the UK?
Well, I think the reason why people want to move to the UK, I think one of the main reasons is they want to give themselves, but mainly their children, a better future. And in the UK, you have well-regarded schools, which they will have access to. There's the healthcare, which they will also have access to. Then with a skilled worker visa application, after 5 years, you are eligible with your family. So again, you can bring your family with you, which includes your partner and dependents under the age of 18, which is your children. And then you can all apply for indefinite leave to remain after 5 years upon meeting the residence requirements, the English language. And 1 year after that, you're eligible to apply for British citizenship. And obviously with the British passport, it will give you freedom to travel to 100 plus visa-free countries. It's also, I think, one of the top passports, one of the top 10 passports. So I think it's just, so it's a plan B. I think it's one of the number one plan Bs for a lot of families who, when they think about relocating anywhere, I think UK is probably at the top because it really, you can get a lot of benefits there. So I would say it's a really good program for people who are looking for a plan B, especially when it comes to people with children. So you and your family is somewhere where you know you can relocate to, where you can work, you can enjoy the healthcare, the education, and then also something that leads to citizenship eventually after 6 years. And then you'll have a British passport for yourself and your families, which I think is the ultimate benefit that you can give to your children.
Yeah. So who qualifies for the UK skilled worker visa? Are there specific criteria related to the applicant qualifications, the company structure, or obviously the investment amount required?
Okay, so I would say, firstly, there's no minimum investment required. So it's not like the entrepreneur visa, which required you to invest the £200,000 and then, set up a business. There's no minimum investment amount required.
Yeah.
I would say you need a certain amount of minimum capital because you will be relocating to the UK and living there.
Yeah.
So you should ensure that you have some sort of funds
of
with
course.
you. And it's, I would say it's for genuine business people who wish to, have their own company, who already have existing businesses that may want to expand the business then into the UK, or even industry professionals and highly skilled people. So once they've got their sponsor license for the organisation, and by the way, there's no restrictions on the type of company that they wish to open.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. So there's no restrictions. You just need to ensure that you are registered with the appropriate governing bodies if your type of industry requires that.
So basically, any business owner can apply to this, regardless of the type of business.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. Once those two steps are done, as in the business setup and then the sponsor license has been granted, they can then apply for their skilled worker visa. So the skilled worker visa, so the Home Office have set out certain occupations that are able to apply as skilled workers. So that list opened up quite considerably post Brexit. So I mean, it even includes all types of industry professionals. It's a wide range of occupations. You just need to make sure that you're getting paid the minimum salary that's required. So there is some changes coming in relation to the minimum salary. Right now, the overall minimum salary is £26,200, but that is increasing to £38,700 from April. So, you need to just ensure that you are paying yourself that minimum salary. That once the sponsor license has granted, they generate something that's called a certificate of sponsorship for you, which is it basically sets out what occupation you will be doing, what salary you will be getting paid, and it's basically a reference number that you need to then submit with your application as a skilled worker. And you need to ensure that you satisfy the English language and the maintenance requirements, which is standard with all Home Office UK applications. And that visa, the standard time is 3 weeks, and you can also apply for fast track, which takes a week.